Um, okay. Hi, Irina. Hi, everyone. It's the first time I'm recording my podcast, "Secret of Your Success," and my first interview is going to be with my old friend Irina. Thank you very much, Irina, for joining me today. We've known each other since 2009, 2010, and we've been working together in the corporate environment, commercial real estate investment management company, and. But Irina decided to pursue education, basically mostly career in education. And my first question is why? What happened, Irina?
First of all, Julia, thank you for inviting me. I've always wanted to be a teacher, but due to circumstances, I started my career in an office first, and then I had to switch and I had to move back to my village where I am originally from, and I had to become a teacher.
Okay, great. So, and who are your students right now, and how do you find them, and how do they find you?
Okay, I have different students aging from 3 years old and to 58 years old. So it doesn't matter for me who I can teach. So I can teach any age.
So the age is quite diverse, basically.
Yes.
And what strategies do you use mostly to keep your students engaged and motivated, since they're all, so different?
Okay, I've got different strategies. So we use a lot of translations from Russian into English. Actually, when I started teaching, I understood that, most of the students, they have problems. So they have been learning English for years, like for 10 years. Some students have been learning English for 15 years, and they even have only level A1 or A2. So this is the highest level. And I understood that for me, it's very important to see their results and to see their progress. That's why I use the strategies which are the most useful for them, which can give them a very quick result. So there are different of them, but one of the most useful, of course, is through translations from Russian into English.
What about vice versa? Do you ask them to translate vice versa from English into Russian?
They're different, but this strategy gives, I would say, the fastest result. So yeah, we do, like, we read text, we translate them from English also, of course, into Russian. So we speak a lot, we watch different videos. So there are a lot of strategies, so lots of them. What I don't do exercises with them during our class, because we have a class only once a week. So, and that's not, of course, enough. And I can't, for example, do exercises with them. So they do usually them at home. I give them a very big assignments or home tasks, and they do at home. And then usually I ask everything through translations.
I see. Well, as far as I know, you're a teacher of English and French. So how do you convince? Why would they need to learn any language?
Actually, most of them are quite motivated, so I don't have to motivate them. Most of them want to learn English because English is quite an international language. As for French, not many students want to learn French, so, and I don't have a lot of French students, but still I have some. So I also don't have to motivate my French students, because those who come to learn French, they are already motivated, because French is a very beautiful language. So it sounds beautifully. They like their pronunciation. And even, for example, if they start learning French because they need it at school, for example, but then they begin to love this language, because it's really a very beautiful language.
So then their main motivation is the sound of the language.
So yeah, the sound.
Yeah. I
But
see.
it's much more difficult than English, of course, because pronunciation is very difficult for them.
Grammar is probably a little bit more.
Grammar is much more difficult. Yes, but pronunciation especially. When I had one student, we started learning French, and only I needed only 6 months just to teach her particular sounds like R sound. So it's quite difficult because she didn't have this sound. So it was quite difficult. So she needed 6 months only for one sound.
Yeah, I see. Talking about techniques and pronunciation and all this kind of things, are there any particular teaching methods or techniques you find most effective while helping students learn English or French?
As I told you, translation is considered to be the most difficult for our brain. So first of all, I try to, to make their brain work faster, because this is very important for me. And I can do it only through translation. So we use a lot of translations. Then when they know the grammar, of course, we speak a lot. So we discuss different topics, different texts. We read for those students who have like level B2 or higher, we discuss different movies. So we watch movies and we learn a lot of words. So, but I can tell you that's not an easy thing, to teach someone something, especially a language.
Yeah.
Перевод с русского на английский. Раньше мы жили в квартире, а сейчас мы живем в маленьком доме.
We used to live in a flat, but now we live in the small house.
Oh, in a big. В маленьком я сказала, да? In a small house. Хорошо. Ален, тебе такое предложение. Я привыкла вставать рано утром, и это меня никак не беспокоит, не волнует.
I'm used to waking up early, so it doesn't bother me.
Хорошо. Сначала было сложно, но Макс привыкает к вождению на левой стороне, Оль. Сначала было сложно.
It was hard, but now...
Сначала еще скажи мне. It was hard?
It was hard...
Сначала. Ален, поможешь?
In the beginning.
In the beginning or at first.
At first it was hard, but now...
Да, но сейчас я привыкаю. Ой, то есть сейчас не так тебе сказала. Но сейчас он привыкает к вождению на левой стороне.
But now he is...
Длительность.
He is used to...
Не, это он привык уже. Он привыкает. He's getting
used to drive a car by...
Должен быть герунди там. He's getting used to
driving a car from right side.
On the left, naоборот. On the left side. Хорошо.
And another thing that just came into my mind also, maybe you can share any particularly rewarding moment when there was some kind of accomplishment on both ends. You consider it as your accomplishment, or the student considered as their accomplishment after this studying any language with you.
Well, I have for me, a rewarding thing is that my students, when they, for example, graduate from the school, and when they graduate from my studying, they take part in different Olympiads, or when they have an entry test, according to the entry test, they are one of the best in English. So it doesn't matter what university they enter, like it can be medical university or economic. So they have very high results in their entry English.
Is it easier for them to enroll into any university after your teaching?
Yeah. of course, it's much more easier, because when you learn a language, your brain works faster. So it really helps you. So because you have a very good memory, your memory is better, and they can memorize everything. So like I've got one student, so she's a student of medical university. So it's quite difficult to be actually to study medicine.
Yeah.
So I consider that medicine and foreign languages are one of the most difficult things actually, or disciplines. So of course it's easier because they develop themselves.
I see. Also, as far as I know, you have passion for singing. I think we started from talking about it a little bit. And a few years ago, you started performing on a stage in your city where you live right now. And do you treat it more like a hobby or a career path? Can you tell a little bit more about it?
Well, I treat it like a hobby. I don't sing professionally. Of course, I perform 3 or 4 times a year on public holidays we have. So I perform, but I really love singing. So it gives me energy to have classes, to teach my students. So just something amazing. I also think that singing is very important for every person, because it also develops your second part of the brain, and it just gives a way, to feel differently, or for example, for your emotions way out. So, and of course, it's really cool.
So do you think that the singing hobby does it help you with your teaching career?
I think that every teacher should have like different hobbies, not only teaching, because you have to find some resources for teaching. Teaching, is quite a difficult thing, because when I used to work in an office, I can tell you, I had this burnout syndrome once a year. Now I have like once 3 months. So it's very difficult, because you teach kids, you teach children, and they are quite difficult to work. So they demand a lot of energy from you. So of course you have to take somewhere this energy. So I take it from singing, but not only from singing. I actually love designing. I love reading books. So I've got a lot of different hobbies. I love fashion. So I try to find different
We'll talk about it more about all these hobbies later in different podcasts episodes. I'm sure we'll meet more often, and we'll discuss maybe each of them in a detail. And how do you? A few more questions. How do you handle challenges or setbacks in your teaching and performing hobby? In your teaching career and performing hobby, I would say then.
I just take easy everything. So it's just, I enjoy everything. I enjoy singing. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy designing. I don't know. I just enjoy it. So when I have something challenging or some setbacks, so I try, I try to be positive. So I try to be always positive, and to have a positive attitude towards everything. So,
but what if your student says, I don't want to learn English, like all of a sudden, like, I'm not in the mood? Like, what do you do? How do you convince them? Do you use a specific approach, or?
Yeah, we talk.
Okay, not today, we'll meet tomorrow, or anytime you're in the mood.
I understood you. When they come, for example, I ask, so what's your mood? How are you feeling today? So what's your news? So that's, I start my class always, and they tell me, oh, today we had at school some problems, for example. And I try to say, oh, okay, I try to help them. I try to give them advice. We're just like friends with them. So that's, of course, one of the things that helps me. So I think they love me, I love them. So if they don't want, if something, for example, happens and they don't want to learn something, I say, okay, we will leave it for now, but then we will take it next time. So and we will try to learn it together. And that's it.
So your leadership style is more friendly rather than, strict or...
Yeah. No, it's not strict. It's not strict.
Not
They
strict.
say I'm the kindest teacher ever. Like they say that they don't have kind teachers at school. Sometimes somebody can shout at them, but no, I'm not strict. But if, for example, someone doesn't want to do home task or hasn't done their home task, then I say, okay, you will do it next time, but you will have to do it. If, for example, my student comes next time and says, I haven't done my home task again, I say, okay, you will come next time and you will do it. So, and they just do it. They don't have a choice.
And speaking about sitting, let's say you want to perform a particular song on stage, and how do you handle setbacks there? So let's say if the director of that performance says, well, I don't like this particular song, or it's not within the structure of our performance or concert today, or whenever you perform it, what do you do? Do you just take it as it is? You switch repertoire, or you say no? You like insist on, like, I want to perform that.
No, I just try to convince her. I try to convince her, and I say, so I will sing this song. We will try to discuss why she doesn't like this song. So we're trying to discuss always. So, but sometimes, yeah, they can say, you want sing this song, just choose another one. So of course, sometimes they say, okay, and I just choose another song.
Yeah. I see. Well, it would be great to see a few songs. If you can share the video, I can attach it to this video at the end. Just,
Okay.
a few clips, if you could share a few moments. And my last question is, what advice would you give to aspiring teachers or performers who are trying to pursue their passion?
I would say that they have to love their profession. They have to love what they do, and then everything will be okay. And they have to love people. They have to love their students. So I think they should be their friends. So if a teacher is friendly, of course, it's easier for students, to learn a language, because to learn a language is quite a difficult process. So a teacher should help his students. So that's my advice.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. And I think loving people is one of the main aspects of, communication, because if you don't love people, and you shouldn't even teach, and you shouldn't sing, you shouldn't perform, because you're doing it for the people, not just for yourself. So I absolutely agree with you. Okay, thank you very much, Irina, for your time, for your very interesting conversation. And well, I love speaking to you all the time. So I hope that we will meet and discuss other topics, not specifically career-oriented, or in case anyone has any questions in the video, down below, they can share their opinion, or maybe they can ask any questions. Thank you very much, Irina. Bye. See you soon.